Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Bulgarian workout. And it's Saturday, my final training day of the week. Sunday's kind of my goof off day. Probably just going to do some mobility work tomorrow for my hips and everything. The volume is getting to me. Today, I'm definitely feeling it. Struggling a little bit. Those last couple days have been real strong. People have been like, man, you're killing it. I know doing those back off sets and everything on the squats, but today I'm totally feeling it. And so the goal for next week is going to be to see if I can actually get a triple on all the back off work after squatting, after doing my single. Because the whole idea here is that I need to build more work capacity, get more volume. It'll help me burn more calories. It'll help me recomp faster. And more importantly, it'll put more muscle on my lower body so that I can get stronger on the squat. But I went high bar today. Now, the squat went better than expected. My 485 high bar, I actually got it. It was the slowest single I have done so far on camera. It was 3 seconds. And what did I say to you guys? That my peak area for a training max is going to be between 3 seconds up to 4 seconds at the slowest. Because that's going to give me the meters per second we're looking for as a max. So it was slow, but it was on the fast end of a true, like, actual training max. When you go read something like Greg Knuckles' Bulgarian training. And some people had asked me, Jason, how do you know how fast the bar's moving? And how do you know how many seconds? Well, I'm looking at the editing software. Like, as I'm actually recording the audio and I'm watching this, it's timing down in front of me a timer to 1/100th of a second. So I can literally tell how fast a squat is. Like, I can freeze the frames and see where I hit the bottom and then see where I hit the top and see how many hundredths of a second apart they are. So I know if it's 2.5 versus 2.6 versus 2.7 seconds. So, I mean, the software tells me that. And I know how far I'm moving the bar, so I can plug that in and do a meters per second thing. So it's pretty nice recording for that reason. But yeah, the bicep pain and everything wasn't there with high bar today. I got a little bit of it after my back off set, but it was totally bearable. That doesn't mean I'm going to quit the mobility work, because it's still there. That mobility work is important. I'm probably just going to need to keep that up the rest of my life. Shoulder dislocates and everything for the rest of my life are going to be critical. But we got it. It was a little slow, but 3 seconds, I mean, that's acceptable. We're going to stay here for a few weeks. I'm probably going to stay at 485 for the next 5 or 6 weeks. We're going to stay here till we can do 2 back off sets with 425. Then we'll reduce the back off work a little bit and start working my way back up. But I think that's going to give me the volume I need to adapt. My quads were dead. I had to do 1 rep on the back off today. Remember, I did a triple the last 2 days? One of them I said I left a rep in the tank. Well, that rep was today. I did 1 rep, and as soon as I locked it, both of my quads cramped. They cramped. Even though the rep looks really good, it's fast, my quads cramped. I had to walk it in and rack it because I knew I couldn't go down again. It is what it is. But I mean, it's Saturday. This is, you know, several days in a row doing this back off work. I'm going to have to adapt to it. But like with anything else, you adapt with consistency over time. I'll just build my work capacity. It's fine. I'll live with it. I'm hurting today, though. I'm hurting after that. My quads, my hamstrings, my hips, everything hurts. Fortunately, they get tomorrow to rest a little bit, and Monday we do it again. Benching wasn't bad today. It felt a little fatigued because of the AMREP set on the press yesterday. Felt a little fatigued, but not so much that the bar speed was slow. So my 317.5 was fine. And people asking, you know, when are you going to increase the bench? After I feel like I build a better base, I'm going to do the volume work on the overhead press and the rows for a bit. Once I adapt to those, I will know I have built muscle in those areas. And then once I have the extra muscle, I can work on starting to improve my bench again by adding some volume. And then we'll kind of do what I'm doing with the squats right now, and we'll take the bench up. But with me being older, I feel like I need the other stuff to build my foundation to bench on. It's just about being safe, guys. I could go in right now and start doing back off sets with 275, and my bench would probably go up. However, I'm just concerned with making sure my shoulder health is on point. You know, I mean, if I'm having this mobility issue with my left shoulder, even on the bench press, it could carry over or on the squat, it could carry over to the bench really quick. I need to kind of bulletproof my shoulders a little bit, make sure my mobility's good, build up my delts and my triceps and my rear delts and everything. Then when I know that we've got a solid platform to bench from, we'll go ahead and start pushing the bench up. We'll see if we can't get to a 350 or 365 bench, you know. That will be like the next set of goals to reach for. But I want to do it safely. I want to do it safely. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get brutally strong in your 40s. You absolutely can. But you need to go about it intelligently, and that's all it is to it. I just don't want to risk getting hurt at this point in the game. And I'll get the strength up on it after I'm sure my delts and my lats and everything are ready. And then we will go for it. We'll go for gold. We'll go all out. My thumbs are dying today. The hook grip, I decided to skip that first warm-up and just go straight to 265. I feel like it's so redundant that it almost pops off the floor before I even get my hands on the bar. So we just went straight to 265, 375, and then our 435. The heavy hook grip today, it's killing my thumbs. And it's not that the joint actually doesn't hurt at all today. It's just that the skin is starting to blister, and it's not like rubbing off blister. It's just kind of swollen. So tomorrow it gets to heal, and then Monday we go up 10 pounds and do the whole process over again. And that's what I've noticed. It basically, Saturday is my 6th day in a row pulling. That's when I'm noticing the most irritation in the skin. So I think I've got the weight just about perfect, because I can only get away with 6 days in a row with whatever weight I'm using. And then it's like, I know the skin might tear if I pull the 7th day. So it gets 1 day to heal, then we repeat the process with a 10-pound heavier weight. So we'll just gradually build that up. The technique looked good. The lift was clean. It was really fast, easy. You know, it looks like a warm-up, because it basically is. But, you know, it's about building that up. You know, and I had someone ask me, some other people, why are you doing that? I mean, if you're not worried about a training effect and you're just working on the grip, you know, why are you doing the deficit? Because a deficit is the same as a conventional deadlift. People forget that. In other words, if you build a 500 deficit deadlift and you've never done a conventional deadlift in your entire life, ever, a single rep, and you pull out the 2-inch deficit, you will be able to deadlift 500 plus the very first time. It has 100% carryover. And usually you'll be able to put 10 more pounds on it. In other words, if you even go 6 months and do nothing but deficit deadlifts, and you get stronger at the deficit deadlift, your conventional will go up immediately without having trained it. It's the same lift. The bar path is identical. All it is it makes it harder in the hardest part of the range of motion. That's all you're doing. You're just doing a more difficult version through the same bar path. So people kind of get that mixed up, and they don't understand it. It is the same thing as training your conventional. You're just increasing the range of motion. It has 100% carryover. It's not like some movements, you know, you have a small carryover. It's 100%. If you gain 50 pounds on your deficit, your conventional will go up 50 pounds or more. It might go up 55, depending upon, you know, how much, you know, your disparity is there. The rows were a little harder today because, again, I'm getting tired. My hands are sore. Back is fatigued. So they were a little tough today, but I got all of them. And I think we picked right about the right volume for that. Because when I'm getting fatigued on the last day, we know our weekly volume is just about on point. Overhead press. I decided I'm done with singles for a bit. I'm going to make it an accessory. Oh my God. It means I'm going to do threes. That's all that means. It means I'm still going to do it every day. And people get confused when you say that. So I decided, let me just do threes as 187.5. And I'm like, I'll just do this all next week. And if it still feels light, at the end of the week, I'll add another 2.5 pounds. But today, it being Saturday, I'm like, let me just go for an AMRAP. As soon as I got over to it, I'm like, I'm not going to stop at threes. Let me see if I can get some extras. So I did 2 sets of 3 with 187.5. And then I cranked out 5 reps. We did 5 for the final set. Now, going into next week, I'll probably stick with 187.5. We need to get used to doing 3 volume sets. I think I'll need a week to acclimate. And then we'll start ramping it again. So we'll do this 187.5, and then I'll probably go up to 190. And then if that feels reasonable at the end of the week, we'll, like if I can do at least 1 extra rep at the end of the week, we know that we need to increase, and we'll bump it again. And we'll just work up some slow linear progression with microplates on the 3x3. And I think that's going to give me the extra meat I need in my delts and my triceps to safely work on my bench. So that's what I need to do. But yeah, I got 5. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.